I think about doing that stuff sometimes, and I have to go, Chola? No. Anyway, do you remember those moments, like, when you're raised, like, really intensely in a place where you might have been in a gang, and then you get into, like, different kind of society where you'd be like, what the fuck did you say? It's not cool to people. And then you have to be like, oh, and then, so I know this is, I don't mean to be, like, but that's what I say to myself. Not that you should ever say that to a Hispanic person, because don't.
This week I'm joined by Elicia Sanchez. What do you have to bring to the table this week?
Okay, so first of all, I brought a cold, obviously, so sorry about all that. But secondly, I brought one of my favorite kind of newer jokes from Kyle Kinane.
I'm trying to be more tolerant, you know, there's too many, everybody's got their own thing going on. It's a waste of time to not be open-minded and learn these things. I'm trying to be tolerant, but it's difficult. That tolerance, it's tested routinely. I was on a flight going from Denver to Chicago, and halfway through my flight, midair, 35,000 feet, guy sitting next to me starts eating pancakes out of a bag.
I love that he didn't want to go, oh, you know what happened to me the other day? And like, just, you know, that. But he started it by that thing about, I'm trying to be more tolerant. So it's almost like a fake out, because you don't think that's where he's going with that story. You're like, oh, he's going to, I don't know, I mean, you don't know what he's going to talk about, really. But you're assuming it might be kind of political.
Yeah, or racial.
Or racial or something. But, I mean, it's like the weirdest kind of like setup and also kind of fake out to the guy eating pancakes. And I really want to know what his alternative openers of that could have been.
Not like a Ziploc bag with like a little seal and like a hey, I meant to do this vibe. Like a bag from the store. Not a store that sold pancakes. See what I'm saying? Like a Foot Locker bag.
I love that he chose Foot Locker because, like, I have no doubt in my mind that this really happened.
Yeah.
That we saw this guy eating pancakes out of the bag. But I don't think it was Foot Locker. In my head, I think it was probably some other store. But he was like, what's the one most ridiculous name for a place?
Yeah. And then it also gives a background to the guy without even, like, saying anything about the guy yet. Like, it already gives him a backstory, which he goes into, which is obviously probably his imagination,
Yeah,
but it's great.
It's so important that he mentions where that bag was from.
Right, and then, like, I feel like before you see the joke in execution, you wouldn't think that that would be an part of the joke.
But it is.
You get me? They're just loose. They're just loose in there. They're like bingo balls, just loose. And there's nothing wrong with what he was doing, morally speaking. But you gotta realize that if you do some wackadoo like eat pancakes out of a shoe store bag on an airplane, you're forcing strangers around you into a world of questions they never anticipated they would ever have to ask.
I don't know, maybe it is just me, but like when I get on a plane, I'm always in a rush. Like I always think I'm prepared the night before, like, oh, I'm mostly packed, and then the day of, I'm like, oh shit, you know. So I feel like I would do something like that.
Yeah, well, that's the best part, is the hurriedness of this snack, but it is not quick to make pancakes.
No, it's not.
Which he goes into, but that's why it's so, that's when you start going, what happened here? What, and that is the question he obviously asked himself.
First off, how did you get to this point in your life? Where are you going? How do you wind up, if you're on an airplane, you're on there with purpose. You're fighting gravity to travel through the sky to land on another part of the Earth's crust. Nobody's like waking up casually like Amelia Earhart, like, I think I'll take to the skies today. You have purpose. You have reason to fight nature, to go somewhere else. How do you have that purpose in your life, but still do it with hastily packed hobo snacks in your midst?
Hastily packed hobo snacks is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I know.
I don't even know if I can dissect why that's hilarious.
No, me neither. There's just something about the way it sounds that...
He's got so many words in there. That's what's so good. He gets like these sentences where he has so many words, and at the end he's like taking a breath while he's saying it. And you can see it in his like his gestures where he's like, Like that's his punchline.
That's not how you catch a plane. You're not like, is this one going southbound? Usually getting to an airport, that's your number one priority in the day. I don't care what happens, I'm going to get to that airport. I'll lose a hand. I'll fix it when I get there. Just get me to the airport. This guy was number 4 or 5 on his list. This guy was like, I know I got a flight, but it is Tuesday, and you know what happens on Tuesday? Silver dollar flappies. That's what happens.
He's so charming because he always comes up with nicknames for things, like pet names, things you don't pet name, like all the time. That is like half of his stand-up, which I love, like when he just said silver dollar flappies or whatever is like my favorite. And I love when one of my favorite things he ever said, and I don't know if it's at this special or if it's a different one, but he welcomes the crowd by saying, thanks for coming out and listening to Uncle Barbecue's dum-dum stories. And I'm just like, what? And he just makes everything so, it's like he's like a drunk host of a TV show for children, but parents love it because he's so relatably fucked up.
Tuesday's Silver Dollar Flapjack Day. A lot of people say, hey, how come you make the silver dollar ones? I make them that way. I don't make them full size. I make them smaller because I can eat more of them, and I get more of a sense of accomplishment. And so I like to do that. And that's a lot of batter over there, but I'll freeze it off. I don't have to eat them all, but I'll make them all, and I'll freeze them in Ziploc bags, and when I need them, I'll just have them ready. What time is it? Oh, shit, I gotta go!
To me, this is like a cooking show. Like, he puts the Pancake Man as
Yeah.
the host of his own cooking show.
Oh my god, that's a really good point. I never thought of it that way. Because he does go through the whole, like, how you cook pancakes and how you would prepare them to go for the next
And
day.
he's like talking to the camera, like, a lot of people ask me why I make them.
That's a really good point. I never thought of
It's
it.
just so wacky. It's like, how do you think of this? You see somebody sitting next to you on a plane and you imagine them like on a cooking show. It's just, it's genius.
What's around? Well, I did buy some new shoes the other day. Foot Locker bag, shovel. Not bindle, boxcar, airport. Woo, made it.
He says, shovel in the bag, and I can't even hear everything he says. Something like Bindle Boxcar Airport. Like, wait, what?
Is he tying the bag?
Yes, I think he turns it into this really cartoonish little hobo cartoon where he like ties it like to a stick, and then he hops on a train and he makes it to the airport. Which that's what I'm saying. This is one of the parts of the joke that you have to listen to it several times. So you're like, oh, he keeps doing this like cartoonish, like old-timey kind of silent movie hobo scenario.
He went through an x-ray machine. His stuff went through. Pancakes got x-rayed that day. A TSA agent, somebody with a badge and responsibility, if they were fulfilling even a fiber of their requirements of keeping the skies safe, somebody had to at least just like mumble somebody. Sir, is this a bag of pancakes? It is. Okay. Yeah. It's pancakes, yeah. Well, I've never dealt with it before either. I'm going to say go ahead. I don't know. We might get an earful for this, but right now, bon voyage. That's what I'm going to say.
Is it Louis C.K. that talks about taking lube through the TSA thing?
Yeah, I think there was an episode of it.
Yeah, right. So he's like, it's my lube, and he has to explain that all the time. That's really funny to me because they have that restriction on liquids. But that's why the pancakes is so like, what?
And when you eat pancakes out of a bag in a semi-public place, there are rules. First off, let people know what you're getting into. Make a little announcement. Hey, everybody, I got a bag of pancakes over here. Don't get freaked out. Offer them around. You don't have to go front and back, just same row. Don't worry, nobody's taking any. It's just a gesture. See, they are in fact pancakes. Would you care for some? No? I understand. Then when you go to eat them with your hands, because my man did not have fork and knife on his person, you eat them one at a time. Driver's ed style, 10 and 2. You take a little nibble out of 12. and you hold in your lap till you're ready for another bite. You follow those rules, go crazy. Hell, I like your style. Way to usurp inflated airport pricing. No, I got my own.
Like, I feel like he was sitting there not necessarily writing a bit, but like just complaining in his head. And this is him like putting out all the weird ass paranoid complaints he had while he was sitting next to the guy on the plane.
Good move. This guy.
You're sitting there, someone's annoying you, and you're just like, what is this happening right now? And then once they reach this point where you're like, they better not. And then when they do it, you're like, this fucking guy. Like, it's so relatable that we've all been in that scenario. Right. You better not do it okay. And that's like this great climax of that joke where we all get to be like, of course. He already has done this much. Why not just be the worst person ever?
He starts off, he's just rustling around under there. He's just rustling. You can't rustle on an airplane this day. It's suspicious. He's rustling. He's kicking up odors. Now we got people, is that breakfast? I smell breakfast. You're not supposed to smell food on a domestic flight. All it takes is one paranoid weirdo to be like, I think hydraulic fluid smells like breakfast. We're going down. Now we're all in a panic because you don't know what hydraulic fluid smells like. Gets the bag out, rips it open with a confidence like, yeah, I'm eating all these bitches. Rips it open, starts rooting around in there, doing this cotton candy thing. Rooting around. But he's not looking in the bag. He's looking up and off into the distance with this look of glazed determination on his face. The kind of look you only see on the faces of people that are neck deep in swamp water because they're going to catch a catfish with their bare hands. You know, just like, come on, get him. Pulls his hand out. He's got 2 or 3 just in a grip, in a fist. He's not going discreet under the chin. He's not going like, hey, I'm sorry for this, under the chin. He's going over the top, just like 93 Jordan layup style, just, ha!
Okay, like, as a fat person, you know, you eat certain things that you're like, there's stuff I eat because I obviously don't eat well, but there's stuff I eat that it's like, if I eat this in public, I feel shame about it. Because I feel like people are going to be like, really? Like, you don't eat that. And I'll be like, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be eating this. So, like, that's what I like about it. It's like, yeah, this is shameful. I shouldn't be doing it. And the fact that we're imagining this guy is fat. We're imagining this guy is, like, old. And the fact that he has so much confidence and, like, and then he does the Jordan reference where it's like, yeah, I win. It's kind of like, you sort of do. You know? Like, it would be much sadder if he had shame in the pancake bag, but he has 0.
Dropping them in, then looking around with an attitude after each bite. Like, snack time, motherfuckers. Boom. Jealous much? Are you shitting me? I'm a Delta Gold member. I gotta sit next to this. No syrup? You go straight to hell.
And that's what I think when the story starts to tell where he is just wishing he was like living this moment that this guy is living, because it's kind of like yeah, where it's like, well, I mean, I'd like some pancakes.
Right.
Like when he says you never smell breakfast on a domestic flight, you're kind of like, because they don't give you food on a domestic flight. So it's even more like this guy doesn't even get stuck eating peanuts. He has fucking pancakes. Everybody else eating peanuts. This guy is like silver dollar flappies, like you said. And that's what you want to have in the morning when you're on a long, like an hour, I guess only domestic flight, maybe an hour or 2 somewhere. But still, I mean, that's when it starts to be like his anger starts turning into, oh, you're projecting because you're jealous. And he's thinking of ways if he had this bag of pancakes, how he would prep them.
Because I don't know where you'd get syrup in a situation like this. Probably another bag. See how this dude operates. But even then, unwritten rules of decent society state you open up that bag of syrup, you pour it into your original bag of pancakes, and you tie it off nice and tight and shake it around for even coverage. Because you might be making a bit of a mess, but at least people are like, well, he's not going to eat him dry like a psychopath.